Hello, 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 everyone. Come on, share this live with everybody. It's Therapy Thursday. I'm excited. I'm excited for the dynamic conversation with these amazing people we're going to have on today. Hey, Pam. Hey, Pam.
Hi, Davon. How are you doing
How
this
you
evening?
doing?
I'm
I'm
good.
doing great. I'm doing great. We wait for our panelists to come through and invite some more people. Yeah. How's the weather out there where you at? Because it was just raining like crazy up here. Like it was thunderstorming.
It's been cloudy today with no rain, but I heard from my parents that it's pretty bad.
It is. I was like, it's crazy. It was
That,
crazy up here.
yeah, like flash floods.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We have Zamir coming through as a friend from DC who was very knowledgeable on this topic. And waiting also for Antonio. Hey Zamir,
Hey,
how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
All is well. Waiting for one more panelist to be gonna get started.
Hey.
Mhm.
Yeah, wait for him to join. I'm excited for today's conversation, you all. I'm really excited. Y'all know today's conversation is very interesting because I'm going through it as we're speaking. Okay, so I like the pandemic has been, a strong tool. We could go ahead and start by waiting for Antonio to join. But today, our topic today we'll discuss. Well, first, welcome to Therapy Thursday. We're excited to have you all here today. We have a dynamic discussion on today. I want to start by introducing myself. I'm Davon Harris. I'm a college intern for the UHMP, excuse me. I would do the videography. I also work social media and all the other needs that I needed within the organization. We have down here below is our co-moderator, Pam, and is Amir. Introduce yourself. So you can go next, Pam.
Hi, I am Pam Rentz. I am also an intern for UHMP. I do more of the journalist side of article writing and project work. Um, and I go to Florida A&M University. I'm a rising junior, and I'm majoring in broadcast journalism.
Samir.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Zamir. I attend Virginia State University, where I'm a mass communications major with the focus on audio production. And I just aspire to be a singer, but also I do love what we're talking about today because it's something that I deal with and that I've grown up and just endured all my life. So I love this, just spreading positivity and awareness to what we're talking about today. So I'm excited.
Yes, ma'am. I'm just excited today because, yeah, pandemic, okay. I've gained some weight over this pandemic period,
Yeah.
okay. Just to share just a backstory about me before we start asking questions between each other. When I first, everybody know me, I started as a vegetarian my freshman year in college. I attended Virginia University. I stopped eating all meat because I was like, you know what, this is the reason why my blood pressure is high. So I was 18 at the time. I'm 18. Why am I having a problem with blood pressure? So I was like, let me stop eating meat, cut back on some carbs so I can get in control of my blood pressure. I lost tremendous amount of weight. But then last year around, the beginning of the pandemic, food started looking a little more good, started looking more tasty. You got nothing to do. I was working at Target at the time, so all you can do is like you work during the day. I was like, okay, I'm hungry now. I'm gonna go stop this place, get something to eat. Go stop it. One way home, I had my car at the time, so let's go to it was my McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, any place doesn't matter. Even though I didn't eat no meat, I was eating those fries, stuff like that, crushing those fries. I enjoy some good fries. Still love fries to this day. So and then as being around some more people. I started wanting to eat other foods other than just fruits and vegetables all day and a little bit of carbs. I said, okay, let me do pescatarian because I'm still in still in the healthy range. I'm not gonna leave, not going to eat no red meat. You know, it led to some more problems because of the pandemic and because I had nothing else to do but just go to work and eat. there was no activities. I didn't know where to put my money. I didn't know to save it or put it anywhere else. I started enjoying some good food and eating it, okay? And I've gained, I ain't all the way back, but I gained some weight back. Because of this time of, craziness, all you could do is just eat through it. So that's how it was for me. Other people, they just had lack of food, lack of different nutritional places they can go get some food at. So they lost weight. That's why we say pandemic weight gain or loss, because we don't know your situation, but we do know pandemic had an effect on some type of health conditions whatsoever. It could be a mental or your physical, but today talking about the physical, and also the contribution of social media. So I let people go around and share their stories, and then after they start diving into some deep questions, and we let this conversation flow.
Yeah, I guess I'll go next. I also experienced weight gain during this pandemic. In high school, I stayed like around like I'm fine to share my weight. I stayed around like 120, 125. I was an athlete of volleyball, track, and softball. I was always active, always doing stuff. Even when I went to college freshman year, I was doing ROTC and marching band year round. I was always active, like from like 5 in the morning to like 11 p.m. at night, like from 14 years old to 19. Then the pandemic hits, I'm sitting down. Like Devon said, I'm eating that good food. I went home with my parents. Like they stayed in the pantry stocked up. Like it was inevitable, honestly. But I definitely did have some self-esteem issues with gaining that weight. And though I was not it wasn't unhealthy, like I wasn't out of my BMI or anything like that, or I didn't have any like personal issues physically. It just was attacks on my self-esteem because I had never been that heavy in my life. And I started to talk to my mom. My mom has a few degrees in exercise science and like community health and stuff like that, and she was telling me what I need to do to get it off. But I was like, not comprehending, because I've never had to actively work to get weight off or like eat different or do anything. Like the weight just kind of just, my metabolism was just doing what she had to do. But ever since like, you know, I come back on campus, and I was able to, get back involved with like intramural volleyball. I'm like doing marching band again. Things are starting to change. I'm eating better. I'm learning like, food groups I need to like stay with. And I have started to stay away from red meat. That is a killer, I will tell you, Davon. But that's my real experience in the last couple of years. Yeah.
So my experience with weight gain or weight loss in the pandemic, well, I've grown up plus size all my life. So necessarily it was like, I didn't really see much of a difference because I've always been so used to maintaining my weight. And it was like, it's not that bad, but it's not that good. But I didn't really have much I wanted to do about it. But when, the pandemic hit and being at home, when you're on campus, usually like, you're already snacking anyway. So it's like, you don't feel that bad about it because, you're walking around campus, so you're still getting some type of movement in, you're being active. So it doesn't seem that bad. But when I got home and, just like you said, the pantry stacked, because everybody at that time was rushing to the store. So, we're stacking up on everything. So I started to notice that, like, I was snacking more than usual and like just really even going on like TikTok and stuff and looking at videos and how people are like finding new ways to make certain foods. And all of a sudden, like, I want to do it too. And I'm eating all this crazy stuff. And I just noticed that it was getting really, really excessive. But, at the time I was like, I can't go anywhere. I can't do anything about it. Everyone's doing it. So it seems kind of normalized at this point. So it wasn't until like the beginning of this year that I made, a decision for myself to do something on just a spiritual journey. And, after that, that's when I started to realize, like, okay, I can go without certain foods. Like red meat, it really does. It makes the biggest difference in the world. I didn't think it would make a big difference, but just learning that, like, now it's just about being healthy, not really pressuring myself to, if I miss a day at the gym or something, it's okay. But just knowing that, I can, just be healthy and be happy, make sure that I'm watching what I'm eating now, just know when enough is enough. And, that's kind of pretty much how it's been for me lately.
But to me, you touched on something really important that I do want to highlight. You said TikTok. TikTok has been a strong factor in exactly why you want to eat more or you want to eat less or whatever you want to do with your health journey. And the first question I want to ask is, how can social media influence your body image? So when you see stuff on social media, you see people how they looking good, or not even just body image, but how you destroy or impact your body in a positive or negative way. You know what I'm saying? So if you see somebody on social media looking good, it may make you feel like it may bring insecurities up, or if you see a nice plate, make you want to eat some more food. Okay, so either way, how can social media, or how has social media affected you in a way? You can start with Pam.
Social media negatively has affected me just because I remember it was Pinterest really, and like you can go and see like a range of things, you know, like new recipes or tattoos, clothing you want. But there was a tag, they got rid of it for, you know, eating disorder health and stuff, but it was called Thinspo, and it would just be a bunch of skinny girls or like ideal you know, beauty centric women who look, you know, like really skinny, maybe a little thick and like the hips or whatever, but like really just, you know, the ideal body type that they're trying to push towards like young women and or I guess women on all spectrums. And it would just make me want to, like, I would save like like pictures of women who I wanted to look like, and that's just not correct. I like in any way, shape, or form, you should never try to compare yourself, or like you should set goals based on health and your self-esteem. But when it comes to comparing and just going off of society's beauty standards that they set for women, it just gets so out of hand. And that Pinterest was the main one for me, but even TikTok, like those little, oh, do 20 sets, do 3 reps, no wait, 23 sets of 20 crunches, and you know, do, you know, Russian twist and this and that, and then you'll have like, you know, a skinny waist in 1 week, like stuff like that. That is not, one, obtainable, is incorrect, and two, you're sitting here and pushing the narrative that, you know, like if you don't have a skinny waist, that like you're not gonna, you know, whatever, like you're not worthy of whatever self-esteem or either way. I'm just saying that the way social media pushes thin inspiration, thin is very harmful to the coming of age. So a lot of girls like my age.
Yeah, that's really interesting because I had the same impact. I see somebody on Instagram with the buff abs, you know, the chest, you know, like you be like, yo, when you grow, you know what I'm saying? Like, no. But before we
I
come
know
on,
exactly. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Like, I won't be like him, you know, I won't be like nice and buff, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I ain't getting there, you know. I'm buff in my own ways, okay? But before we start going, we do have a new panelist up here, Antonio Hardy. He has been a long term intern with us. He's a former intern now, but he has been a great supporter of UHMP. We do introduce you, so you can just say who you are, what you're doing right now, and just about UHMP as a whole. If you have good service, I don't.
Yeah, the service, I'm trying to I had like a last minute work order, so I ran to Michael's, and the service is terrible. I'm about to get back in the car, so hopefully it's better in there or something. I don't
Yes, sir.
know. So just give me a quick second, and I'll let you know when I'm ready to go.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. But we're gonna keep on going. Ask a question I asked before. How does social media pretty much influence how you see your body image, or just and how it negatively affected how you or what helped?
Kind of similar to what Pam said. Like it just, affected, my self esteem a little bit just because of the comparison. You see certain people and how a certain body type is trending or how a certain way you should look is trending. And for me, like I was following certain people, and there was nothing wrong with them, but because my self esteem wasn't where it needed to be during that time, I found myself like comparing myself to them, and then you see how like on TikTok and stuff, people have certain clothing clothing items that trend, and like you want to buy that, and because you want to look like them. So that kind of affected me, and like the way that I look, and it made me feel like, oh, like maybe the way that I look isn't acceptable. So in a way, like that kind of brought my confidence down a little bit. So what I had to do was, just like bring more awareness to the fact that I, needed to grow within myself and be more confident within myself, because, society is always going to have their certain beauty standard, and they're always going to push something that, that isn't the norm for everybody, so it's not always going to be acceptable among everybody. So, it's hard to accept that, but it's like, it's what you have to do because it's life. So what I just kind of really had to do was, unfollow some of the people for a certain period of time, just for the sake of, my mental health, and for me to get myself together, because, I was just in the cycle of going back and constantly comparing myself, because, during the pandemic, you're sitting there and like all you can do is look at the screen all day. So, surrounding myself with that type of environment, I knew it wasn't healthy for me. So that's what I kind of had to do, and just like learn to believe in myself and to love myself more, because society is always going to be society at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I most definitely agree. Cause like I remember one time I was on, I think it was on Instagram. That's when I had that little abs, like when you exercise, you do a certain amount of reps, you get to this body. And me, I was like, let me try this thing. Let me try this thing. I'm not saying that exercise worked overnight, but I knew for a fact that I needed to just first accept who I was, and then I can later become certain motive who I need to become. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times we our motivation for change in our body is the wrong thing. We motivate because of how the person look, and not because we want to actually change ourselves to where we want to be. You know what I'm saying? So we need to work on the motivation piece to know what we want to do, and then from there we can actually start putting in the right practices to get to where we want to go. You don't body shame yourself first. You know what I'm saying? You don't make yourself like you're not worth it, or you're too big, or something look right on yourself. No, you figure out, okay, I look good right now, but I want to enhance my beauty. You know what I'm saying? To where I like it. You know what I'm saying? That's how you look at it. You don't be like, okay, this person, my brother right here, look ripped. You know what I'm saying? I don't be like him. He make me feel like I'm nothing, shameful. No, you use another motivation as that. But now we have Antonio here, brother. Just introduce yourself, and then the question that we did ask was, how can social media influence your body image? It could also, in general, like how it maybe how has it impacted you in your eating habits or healthy eating habits in a way.
Cool. One, it's scorching right now, and kind of like, so I'm trying to cool down as much as I can. But yeah, my name is Antonio. I go by Mercy. And in regards to your question, see, social media, my relationship with social media has changed drastically over the past few years, at least since college. I used to be like really into it. I used to like be like, oh, I have to get this many followers, I have to do this, I have to do that. And then I did some really, really like not immature stuff, but I had bought an account from like a friend of mine, and it set me back for like a minute because I didn't realize how the whole life situation worked, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it put me on this weird like, I'm gonna call it like social depression,
Mm-hmm.
where I would look at other people's posts and I would then question what I should like possibly post to make, like, I don't know, make my page look better, or at least make me look better on my page, you know? And especially me being a man, men don't always necessarily talk about body image
Yeah.
somewhat, and how we're perceived on the internet, whether, if we're too skinny, because I'm a very flamboyant man, right? So I can like post something and I'll worry like, oh, I don't get enough likes. Is it because of like my face, or is it because of my body structure isn't like as big as other guys or whatever, or I'm not toned the right way? And it can get to you, but it hasn't gotten to me. And specifically because we're talking about like the pandemic, and because we've been home and whatnot.
Yeah.
Hasn't really got to me that much, because I told myself that the last thing I want to do is be on the internet so I can watch what other people who are living a much quote unquote better life than I am during this pandemic. And what they're doing is ultimately that's just me putting myself on a cross. Like, it's me telling myself I should be sad because I'm not able to like have like a pool or something or a gym in my house or whatever to work out. All I have is Uber Eats and Postmates. You know, all I have is like food delivery services, and then TV. So of course I'm going to be eating a lot. But the pandemic has definitely caused me to put on some weight, and currently I am gym almost every day to get rid of this weight. But yeah, long explanation, but that's basically my answer.
No, that's perfect because it explains that that we all were affected in some way from the pandemic, and that it's sometimes some people going on TikTok or Instagram be having unrealistic expectations for us to do. You have a gym in your house, so go ahead and work out in your gym. No, it's not possible. You got a pool. I don't got no pool. I'm living in a townhouse over here in Richmond. You know what I'm saying? I got none of that. I don't have none of that stuff. So like, people on social media can try to be positive in a way that's negative. They're showing their the things that they got their home to make you feel like, oh, you need to be doing this, but you don't got it. So, but Pam, you got any questions for us? Since you're the co-moderator, I'm gonna let you ask the question. I've been taking over those.
Yeah, no, you're straight. So, the next one I definitely want to ask was how young does social media begin to influence a kid's body image? Sorry, I just scooted over and look at my laptop. But I know kids like come on social media a lot younger and younger as the internet revolution precedes us. But at one point, does it stop going from like YouTube and looking at like toy reviews and looking at like game codes and stuff like that, to where they start looking at people's body or looking at how people's features are and comparing themselves, wanting to look like that, wanting to be like that, wanting to dress like that? Like, how young do you think it starts, and how young do you think it starts to really affect like their mental health or like their coming of age?
I mean, I'll answer first because I have a little goddaughter. Her name, she's a little 3-year-old, and she already be on TikTok now at 3 years old.
Wow.
So I believe it's almost at any age that they are allowed a phone. Like sometimes it's as young as 2. That tablet, they can tap on anything, YouTube, anything. So my goddaughter, she's 3 years old, she'll do every single TikTok dance. So she might see a girl, her hair slide. I'm not saying it's part of what she's going through, but if she does see it in that way, she can see somebody that looks beautiful. So I won't be like that. So I won't be like that. I inspire that person. And, like those things can have a positive, sometimes negative. They definitely 3 years old. They probably just see the beauty. They probably see how they look, the hair, everything, the nails. She's a girl, so she see everything. She's like, oh, those nails, they look good. And then she got her nails the other day. I was like, okay, she's 3 years old, got a whole glam day, But you can already see the influence of TikTok, social media on young people. So I believe it starts as young as the phone gets in their hand. And it's kind of sad, That's why, as a parent, I can't tell about being a parent, but as a parent, you have to watch what you allow your child to have. Now, even YouTube could be a bad outlet sometimes, depending on
right.
So you got to be real watchful about what your child sees. Cause I don't think I got a phone until like I was old. My parents didn't play. Even my parents lenient, but like they still didn't get a phone. First, because they ain't no money. Second, because they didn't want to give me a phone in the first place. So
we got
either way.
But not that young. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I wasn't 3 and had a phone.
Yeah.
I had a phone at 3. So y'all can go.
That's crazy.
I'll say, like, I agree. It is kind of, like when you are allowed to have a phone, but I would say the age where it's most populated is probably like the middle school from like 6th to like 8th grade, like when you're within like that age bracket, because that's where most youth begin to come of age and start becoming more aware of things. So I think like when the beauty standards and just the influence of social media as far as weight starts to affect their mental health, is I would probably say within like that I would say like 13, 14 kind of age, because that's the age where, dudes, they're going into puberty, girls, we're becoming more of age of things. So it's like, you're seeing these standards and you're seeing, how, I remember when I was younger, just seeing how certain girls, look that were older than me, and like I inspired to be like that, and like it inspired me. But sometimes it can have a negative effect. So I would say probably like within the ages of like kind of the preteen age, I would say is when it starts to become become like an issue on people's mental health, because that's where I believe that youth go through the most changes within their life.
Speaking of the preteen age, like that's starting to like disappear as, you know, they get phones younger and younger because they're exposed to the same things that, you know, teens and young adults and, you know, midlife adults are exposed to. And so there's no awkward phase. They're dressing the way we dress.
Yeah.
They're looking at like sex objects and the way we look at them. And there's no turnover from kid to teen, or like there's no like middle ground. And so that's really affecting, I think, like how soon they're looking at people and wanting to be like them. Like they would crop top, like I don't know, Justice went out of business like a couple months ago. Like y'all not wanting to wear like hot pink and spiky things. Like,
Yeah.
what do you mean? Like that's a part of growing up. That's how I see it. But yeah, no, that's a valid answer. That's solid.
Antonio?
I feel like the moment, and I can't really gauge like an actual age, but I feel like the moment we start comparing ourselves in real life to other people is the moment where social media is like the little bug or virus it can be comes creeping in, because you only really think different of yourself when you start like seeing your friends do other things, right? And then their friends, and they see their friends do this and that, whatever. So, for example, a young girl will not know that her shape or her figure is different until she starts seeing like her other friends start to notice that her shape is different. And then she sees that she might see like her older sister is online or something. And then that's how we continuously get younger when it comes to like people's insecurities becoming like a detriment to them. You know, because when you're a child, yes, you have insecurities, but they're only because of very minute things. But the moment you start being like, wow, life isn't actually, you know, around me. Like this is a much larger bubble than I thought. So then we get phones in our hands, and now we're like, wow, life is actually bigger than my city. It's actually better. Like it's actually bigger than my state. And then now you're sitting there wondering whether who you are is like the person you're supposed to be. Maybe I should get more into makeup, you know? Maybe I should start shopping here instead of shopping this other place that I actually liked at first, you know? And then social media is just like the final predator of, okay, here are a bunch of women or men that either dress better than you or look better than you, and like your crush might be like, oh, I'm really attracted to this person, not because of any particular reason. Maybe they like them because their other friend likes them, but now you're like, wow, their boobs are bigger than mine. Oh wow, her body's a lot fitter than mine. Or the guy might be like, wow, he has better clothes than I do. Or he has more money than I do, and I can't provide. And then we get into all this other. Happy like elementary or something, because kids are getting phones sooner than later.
Yeah, I most definitely agree. I most definitely agree. You really hit a strong point. It's like it starts at that age of comparison. You start comparing people. But you know, we get close to the end time. I want to end with this one last question, so we can go on about a separate ways. And let's Pam got another question.
Sorry, let me go back. No, I don't have anything else. Did you have one last question?
I have one last question to ask. If you was to see a person right now, a young person, you talking to a whole group of young people right now, and you know that social media has impacted all of us, it impacted the people around us, it's still impacting the youth. What would you tell someone who may be experiencing type of insecurities or are having problems with their body image because of the fact of social media? What would you say to that person? And I'll answer last, but I'll let you guys go. Yeah, I think
I don't know who wanted to go first.
You can go first. Let me take a minute.
Okay. I would just, I would just continue to encourage somebody, encourage them to, to always just love yourself, because your individuality, I mean, you being you is your biggest superpower, because nobody can be the best version of you like you can be. So that's just really the biggest thing, is to really just love yourself and love everything about, love everything about, who you are, and what make, whatever differences you may have from somebody else, that's okay. It's nothing, to compare to compare or to make yourself feel bad. We're all here, to be different and to be our own person. So I would just really just encourage someone to just, continue to stand firm in who you are, and not listen to what society says, because society is always going to have one standard of one thing. They don't often allow, something different to come in. So just, continue to stay, strong in your individuality, and, whatever makes you different from others, that's the biggest thing. So that's what I would say.
That's a really good answer. That's solid. Okay. If I was talking to a young person right now, struggling with comparing themselves to things on social media, I would tell them that to not be so trusting of what you see on social media, like the bodies you see, like the people who are even beyond what you see about like physical, like even people who go out every weekend, or people who are in like good relationships and stuff. Don't be so believing of it, because even I can say, like, I put stuff out on there where I know everything's not all good. Like, it's not everything you think it's cracked up to be. And those bodies you see, you don't know what unhealthy habits they have. What they could have got to that. You don't know what's face tuned and what's not. And you're going to put your worth on a pedestal that's unobtainable, because it's not real. So at that point, you just got to live your life and realize that a lot of these people are trying to put their best foot forward out to a bunch of people they don't know. Yeah. And it's unrealistic. It's not real. And you just got to live your life for you, and live your life for what's going to make you happy, not for what's going to make the screen happy.
Exactly. What I would say, if I was talking to some youth, I would say that, it's kind of like everybody say this, but this is real. It's not what's about the outside that matters. It's about the inside. Your personality, your character will precedes how you look on the outside. Like, that precedes you more. Because if you're beautiful, but you have a nasty attitude, no one wants to mess with you. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta master who you are in the inside first before you try to change anything on the outside. Make sure you know who you are. Make sure you're confident in who you're supposed to be, because that's going to take you further than your looks. You walk in that room, they're not going to look at you further. Yeah, they may look at your appearance a little bit, but when you start speaking out your mouth, that's going to have power more than how you look, no matter what you're saying. That's how homeless people get what they need to get later on in life, because they speak and they know what they're talking about. I met some smart homeless people in my life. I'm from DC, and I go to Eastern Market, and this is a guy I talk to every day when I go to school, because he has so much knowledge. And I'll talk to him not because I would not talk to him because of how he looked. It was because of how he spoke to me. It was how he fed into my life. Like, it was who he was on the inside that attracted me to him, not how he looked on the outside. So don't worry about that outside stuff, because when you speak, because you're confident who you are, you can have more power than anything else. So don't get me started with this conversation. But yes, I really felt that way, because that's how I felt. I didn't understand, Davon, you have more than your outside. Davon, how you speak, what you say have more power than how you look. And it will precede you more than anything else. That's why I tell somebody that's young, just be who you are. Be who you're supposed to be. Understand who you are meant to be and walk fully in it. Be confident in it. That's what I tell you. Thank you guys so much for joining Thursday. We have one next week. May the conversation be led by our co-moderator, Pam. So make sure you tune in next week, July the 8th. Thank you so much, Amir. You are a wonderful person. You're dear to my heart. So thank you for joining with us today.
Thank you.
So we'll see you guys next Thursday. Stay tuned with us. Keep on watching. Read these stories we post, y'all. These are powerful stories. LGBTQ. We've got stories about everything. BIPOC community. Please read them. Please read them. Enjoy them. People, these are youth writing stories, telling what they've been through, what they're going through. This is meant to be shared. So please
make sure you follow the Urban Health Media Project Instagram, so you won't miss out on our 7 p.m. Thursday lives.
Exactly. Thank you so much. Love you all. See you later.